welcome to the Untested podcast. We've got a bit of a different setup here today. We've got the wireless mic, we've got the actual corded mic because I'm trying a different setup to try and get the best out of the audio and visual experience. Now, forgive the whole background stuff. We're still working on that. We will get better and better with the background. I promise you that, but I just wanted to sit on a chair because I've been really sitting on the floor, sitting on my bed, and it's been terrible for my posture. So I thought today, let's actually have a real setup, a real posture setup that can help me and hopefully improve my quality of living. So we'll go from there. Now, apologies for last week. I did suffer a bit of burnout, and I will be discussing that on another podcast, probably the next episode. I don't know if you guys have been following along for so long, but probably, I think it was episode 1, maybe even episode 2, was a podcast episode calling Fill Your Plate. Fill Your Plate. That will be back for a part 2 for Fill Your Plate. Just as an update, just as to let you know how my life is going and how I've learned to actually cut back from Fill Your Plate. Even though I still believe in the concept of it, and I still tell people that all the time. So yeah, we've got the 2 setups here, just to fill you in. If you've ever tried podcasting, videoing, editing, it is a pain in the behind when you have a separate audio and a separate video and just trying to pair them up. So this is an easier setup for me because I've got the Rode mic actually connected to the phone / camera, and I've got this one connected to the laptop. So this one goes straight to the podcast one without having any editing done, and this one can go straight to video without having to edit that as well. So yeah, I just thought I'd give you that handy tip. If you are into the podcast or want to do something like that, hopefully it'll help you out. Hopefully it helps me out. We'll see how this works. I'll let you know. Anyway, today's topic, falling in love with the process. So obviously there's a process to everything we do, but we do the process in hopes of achieving a certain outcome, a certain result. Why do we work hard in the HSC at school? Hopefully get the good ATAR and hopefully, get the uni course you want to do. Why do we save up all our money to buy something eventually? Why do we go to the gym every day to get fit, to build muscle, to be more attractive, to improve our confidence? Why do we work hard when we lay brick by brick to build the most solid, stable wall you can? So there is a process and an outcome attached. But what I'm saying today is you have to fall in love with the process, not the outcome. Especially because sometimes the outcome never actually comes. Obviously, one day you can finish a brick wall. Obviously, one day you can save that money and buy that thing you want. Not all the time, obviously, but obviously, sometimes it doesn't happen. That's what I'm saying. So let me give you an example. Let me give you a little bit of a story, and it'll kind of tie into what I'm talking about today. Sisyphus. Sisyphus is the thumbnail on the YouTube. If you're watching that, it's the thumbnail of the man pushing the boulder up a hill. So I won't bore you with all the details because I only read about it recently. But Sisyphus was in Greek mythology thousands of years ago, probably didn't even exist. The whole thing with Sisyphus is he got punished for messing people about, ripping people off, lying to people, manipulating, okay, by the gods of Greece. His punishment was to be in hell or in the underworld, and his punishment was to push and wrestle this gigantic boulder up this mountain. That was his punishment, to do that for all of eternity. And this is kind of why it's outcome related, right? Process related. Because when he'd get to the top, it would always roll back down. So basically, day in, day out, for the rest of his days in eternity / hell, he had to push this ridiculously heavy boulder up a hill only for it to roll back down. Now, why am I telling you this? Because think about this. If you're an adult, if you're a kid maybe too because of school, but if you're an adult, there's going to be times where a lot of you are doing a job, doing a task, which feels meaningless. Now, how does that tie in? Well, pushing a boulder up a hill has literally no purpose if you're not going to use the boulder for anything, if you're not clearing a pathway. It seems meaningless and it's degrading and it's not good for the mental. Like there's no end result to that. That's all Sisyphus was doing. Now, the same comes in a workplace. If you feel like your tasks are meaningless and not contributing to anything and not helping achieve an end goal, your mental capacity, your enthusiasm, your motivation to continue to do that to the best of your ability will diminish. So there's two lessons with this, right? First of all, it's find something you love to do. Find something that you'll enjoy. Find something you'll take passion in. Find something that doesn't feel like work when you do it every single day. And let me tie this into myself with teaching. And, you know, a lot of my students listen and watch this. So you would know that I generally do enjoy myself. I enjoy the interactions I have. I enjoy teaching kids lessons, whether it be PE, whether it be science, whether it be life, whether it be random stuff that I've learned myself. I enjoy all of that. I enjoy the interactions. I enjoy being outdoors playing sport with kids. I enjoy having a recess on lunch, as dumb as that sounds. I enjoy it all. And then obviously there is meaning and passion and purpose to what I do, because I know at the end of the day, some kid, out of the hundreds that I teach, some kid is going to take away something that they can use again, that they can relay a message that they can put to their own life and use. And excuse me. And I'm so young and so early into my teaching career that I've only seen it a handful of times, but I have seen it. One of the best examples was before I was actually a fully qualified teacher. Shout out to Peter. Peter, you better watch this or listen to this. He was one of my first ever students when I was actually a teacher's aide. I wasn't even a fully qualified teacher yet. I was a teacher's aide, and I gave him a few lessons and life knowledge just from my own life experiences, and he didn't take them on. I'm going to say I gave him these lessons maybe 6 years ago, and I've run into him a couple of times since then. And I actually happened to run into him a month or two ago. And he relayed those messages to me after 6 years. He said, I should have listened to Sean when he said this, this, and this. And now I tell that to people that I work with, because he works in some sort of labor tradesman field. And that's what he wanted to do at the time when we were talking. And now all those little pieces of advice that I gave him, he's relaying to the next generation, because he thought he should have taken that advice and taken that on board and learned from that. And now he's learned from his quote unquote mistakes, or his lessons, I suppose. And now he's taken them on. So after 6 years, he still has those messages and voices of myself in his head going, you should have done A, B, and C. So that's powerful. And that makes me feel good that someone is listening and someone is learning and taking away from what I'm doing. Now, when it comes to you guys and finding that thing that's meaningful, it's going to be hard, right? Because you've got to find something you're passionate about, something that you love. So the easy one for me to talk about, because obviously I'm a personal trainer as well, is just developing your body. The easy/simple goal people have is to look good, to feel good, to be stronger, to build confidence. So those things can all happen. It's very, very easy for those things to happen. But in order for those things to happen, you need to do something on a daily basis. You need to eat good food. You need to exercise well. You need to recover. You need to take care of your body. But those things can happen. So for example, it's the easiest one, probably weight loss. Body fat dropping, so to speak. You got a wedding in 6 months, you got to drop X amount of kilos to fit into that dress so you look good, so you're happy, you take the photos and you don't regret it. The start of that's going to suck, especially if it's 6 months away. And especially if you haven't done anything to contribute to making that happen. You need to be able to accept that day one is going to be the hardest day, where I can't eat all the foods I want. I can't eat as much food as I used to have. I have to exercise and get X amount of steps in. I have to lift weights. I have to stretch my body. I have to sleep earlier. I have to wake up earlier. I have to drink more water. It's a lifestyle change. But instead of doing it for 6 months, you should learn how to do it for life. Because then it's just part of your daily routine, as opposed to, I'm only doing this for 6 months and I don't have to do it ever again. Now, you can do that, but it's just less satisfying. It's more satisfying, put it this way, for myself. I dropped some body weight recently, 6-7 kilo. And the biggest change I made was just making the exact same meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'd do the little meal prep thing. I'd cook up all my food on a Sunday, have a Sunday night. It's all in its containers ready to go so that I don't stray away from my diet. And I've eaten the same thing for that many months when I've dropped all that body weight. That's but one of the biggest differences I made, as well as adding a little bit more cardio to my workouts. That's it. A simple change which takes me an hour a week helped me drop 7 kilos. How crazy is that to think? And the only difference is I'm eating the same thing every single day as opposed to changing it up every single day. I'm sure you could, but that's more the convenience factor. Eat the same thing every single day and I've dropped body weight. It's a lifestyle change I made, not a temporary change. People go, do you get sick of eating that? But there's a purpose to it. It's kind of like finding that passion and falling over the process. There's a purpose to why you do everything. There's a purpose why you want to get those 10,000 steps. There's a purpose why you do that strength training. There's a purpose why you are eating and sacrificing the crappy food that you love to eat. But if you fall in love with that process and fall in love with that level of discipline and routine, your life will be so much better. There's a saying that discipline is freedom. I'm not even going to explain that to you. Just try to figure out what that means. Give yourself certain tasks, then do them to the best of your ability. Give yourself a checklist. That's what I do every single day. Give yourself a checklist. I have to do A, B, and C. Then my day will be somewhat productive, somewhat ticked off. Slowly increase that list till you can add to it, till you can improve your goals. Because like I said, sometimes the goals won't come. If you're some sort of a bodybuilder, you'll never be 100,000,000% happy with your body. There'll always be something you want to change. Strength athlete, same thing. You'll always want to be stronger at a lighter body weight, which sometimes just won't happen. But if you fall in love with the process of going to the gym every single day, working as hard as you can, you got something to tick off mentally and physically. Fall in love with the process. Make it not even feel like work, and you'll achieve amazing things. Thank you so much for listening. I know it's been about 2 weeks since I've done one, but I'm really happy with this one so far. I actually have notes. I usually don't even have notes. I just go off the top of my head. So I'm happy with this one today. So please, if you know someone who does need this, or does need any of the messages I've passed on through my podcast, feel free to share it. I'm going to try and clip this up, put it on TikTok and stuff. I'm not good at that, but I'll get someone to do that for me. But yeah, thank you for listening, guys. Till next time, hopefully next week.